is Saturday, February 20th, 2021, and for me, another day of social distancing. Hope that you and your family, friends, and loved ones are doing well, staying home and staying safe. Not sure how long this is going to be, and I've been having all sorts of technical issues this morning, in particular with my audio. What I do when I record these videos is I record the audio on a separate program that's on my computer called Audacity, and I record my video on my cell phone. Both are picking up audio, but the audio on my Audacity is much better. And when I tried, long story short, to do the videos this morning, there was some buffering issues and there were sections that were just cut out. And so I said, you know what, I'm too tired for this. I'm in a lot of pain, dealing with arthritis. You can't see me right now, but I'm wearing my arthritis gloves. And I didn't even put my backdrop up that I normally do because it's too much pain. And as soon as I get this video together, I'm going to go back to bed. A brief recap of the week before I continue on with my story time for today is I worked from home. I completed another exam, which isn't towards a designation, but I was able to get a certificate because of it. I took the test early in the morning yesterday because I don't sleep, and I really should be getting more sleep because I'm dealing with lupus, and you know, my doctors tell me I need to get more sleep, and it just makes sense. And anyway, passed the exam. I'm gonna have a financial incentive because of that, but this was a really good course for my industry, and because of it, I can continue to study the information from it and be able to use it as part of my day-to-day tasks and assignments. So, my music background, let me lead into that. I have a long music background. So basically, since the age of 5 or so, when I started taking piano lessons, was when I developed a passion for music. It was maybe even before that, because I know I was listening to music as a baby. But my mom bought me a 10-disc set of classical composers or musicians, and there was Bach, Beethoven, Brahms, Debussy, Chopin, Wagner, a couple of different other artists, and I remember I listened to those CDs over and over and over again, and would dream of, you know, a lot of different scenarios, mostly being a knight and saving a damsel in distress, stuff like that. As a kid, I think I was watching DuckTales and Darkwing Duck and all sorts of other cartoons. I had my, you know, quite an imagination, and we played outside back then, which is probably unusual for a lot of people these days. But in elementary school, was listening to a lot of music and was in the band. However, wasn't good enough to play an instrument. We had to audition for our instruments and ended up playing a recorder. And I thought that was the end of my music career, but I continued to take piano lessons, and went to middle school and actually got a really fantastic piano teacher, thanks to my mom, and me and my younger brother. We were playing piano, and I also picked up the trumpet at the time. Decided to focus more on trumpet and completely, I played piano a little bit more, but you know, I just really threw myself in the trumpet. And I had a band director at the time in middle school that really, you know, focused on us, and I guess he thought my talent was good enough that he wanted me to audition for a youth orchestra in our city. So in 8th grade, I joined our youth orchestra. It might have been in the 7th grade, leading into 8th grade. But anyway, got into the youth orchestra, got hooked up, became really good friends with another trumpet player who was super advanced, and we ended up going to the same high school. But as we went into high school, he auditioned for this development program, music development program. I don't know how many people auditioned for it. I never will know unless I go back and ask, and they may not keep the stats on that, but I got in. And there was about 10, maybe 15 of us in the program. It was a new program, and we got free lessons from symphony members, symphony orchestra members throughout high school. We also got scholarships to go to band camps and to go to concerts. And man, that was quite an experience. I'm definitely grateful even now to have had that, and that was instrumental in my growth as a musician throughout high school. That happened quickly because of that. And so when I wasn't in class, which was a lot, I'd be in band class. I would go to my band classes. I went to performing arts high school, so we had a symphonic band, we had a jazz band, we had different ensembles. I would just join in. My marching band was big, but I would join in as much as I can. And my teachers, because I went to performing arts high school, they were okay with me leaving class sometimes to go and do band practice for a concert. I ended up becoming one of the soloists. The other trumpeter actually transferred to a different school, and then I became like the top dog. And I can't believe I just said top dog, but I was one of the top trumpeters out of 16. And my leadership skills weren't all that great, so I co-shared leadership. And but when it came to nuances and teaching about music and all those things, that was my forte. I can't believe I say forte, man. The things I say without video. Okay. In high school, I was also taking French. I chose French for some reason. Thought maybe it was more romantic and I'd be able to get dates and stuff like that. I don't know. But I had a teacher who either she was from France or she knew French very well, and so she was very focused on the accents. So the bonjour, comment tu t'appelles, je m'appelle, so forth and so on. I'm not going to say my real name. Je m'appelle Ray, stuff like that. So learned French and had a chance, an opportunity, thanks to my parents, to go to France, and was out there for a few weeks. And we went to northern France, Paris, Versailles, a couple of the surrounding areas, mostly in Paris and Montmartre, and got a chance to see the Louvre, as well as Champs-Élysées. Did a lot of shopping on there. I spent money that I didn't have. I spent my parents' money, which, we didn't have much growing up, so it wasn't a lot, but, it was a lot for them. A big sacrifice. And then we went to South France and Nice, Monaco, a couple of other cities up in them hills. It was a great time. And then flew to Amsterdam, spent a couple of days up there, and then back to the States. So we performed in a village, and I think it was in South France, and I just remember how they embraced us. And I was with a predominantly black group, and that might have been a surprise to a lot of people. For one thing, we were very much so the minority there, and just remember that experience. But anyway, came back, and that was in my junior year in high school. My senior year of high school, auditioned for a number of different colleges. Most of them were up north, some down south, and got a couple of offers, but I chose a conservatory of music and decided to go to college for classical trumpet and minor in piano. So I continued on a little bit in piano while in college. My professors were in one of the greatest symphony orchestras in the world, and I took lessons there and with them, and had to perform a lot. We did something called, I think it was called juries, or it would be appropriate if it's called a jury. Each semester, each quarter, at the end of the quarter or semester, we had to perform in front of our professor, but as well as people in that department. So it could have been an oboist, it could have been someone who played strings. It didn't really matter, but they were professionals, and they would listen to us play different passages or pieces, and they would be in the audience in this large auditorium, and we would be on stage and we would perform for them. It's very nerve-wracking, and we would spend the whole semester preparing for this and thinking about what we would play and how we had to perfect these passages and everything. And I did that for the time I was in college. It was a little bit extended. I was a double major, and which is a mistake on my part, considering that I barely passed high school. double majored in music and computer information systems. I did that up until my junior year, and we took this class called Digital Topics. Digital Topics was one of the classes I took, and that was okay. But we also took a class called Discrete Mathematics, and it was basically like the philosophy of math. Why does 2 + 2 = 4? I should have known right there that I should have dropped the class, but it was too late. I got in the class and bummed. So I said, you know what, computer thing is probably not going to catch on. It's not going to be a big thing. So let me stay with music, where I'm going to make a boatload of money. I'm going to retire young and so forth and so on. Nope, that didn't happen either. But in college, I learned how to play gospel, reggae, country, jazz. I'm not sure if I say rock, that too. I played all different styles, and then I figured, I was like, you know what? Music is music. There's 12 notes. There's rhythms. There's chords. I learned how to do all those things. I learned how to compose. I learned how to write for different groups. I even played with different R&B groups around town and down south, and did all those things. I was all about music. It was my security blanket. Music was. I could hide behind that. I did that all through my 20s. Ended up going to graduate school for jazz studies, and I was okay, but I just saw long term that wouldn't be for me, and decided to switch careers, but didn't know what to switch to. So I went back to school. I went to community college for business classes. I was going to get a degree in business. I didn't finish the degree, but I took about 1.5 years of courses and decided to take on jobs that would lead me into that career. I was a janitor, and so there was a temp agency, and they were hiring for various jobs. I took a job with Crocs in their accounting department. I was helping out temporarily with them, and then I joined another company, and with that other company, it was a project that we had to do. It was going to be like 5 or 6 weeks, and I ended up shining in that program, and was offered a full-time position in one of their positions inside the company. And I was grateful. It was something I was not even used to. And I remember I had to interact with a lot of different plans, Medicare, Medicaid, private plans, and all those sorts of things. It was totally new to me. I was in my early 30s. And so it was very cool. Ended up buying a car, and then shortly after that, I was told, oh, your position is going to be phased out. You can either move into another role, which is completely different from what I was doing, or, you can find something else. And I chose to find something else with a different company. I wanted to find something that was comparable, so I found a position that was in administration on a completely different side of town, and got into it. However, I had interviewed for another company, and I wasn't qualified enough to be able to get it at the time. And so I said, okay, well, I'll work with this other company. Not going to name any of the companies, but this other company, I didn't really care to be there. I knew that I wanted to be with the other company, so worked there for about 9 months, interviewed again once another spot opened up, and I got it. 10 years later, I'm still with the company, worked in various positions, different offices, different ranks, and went up to management. And I shared in my previous videos that because of my health, I decided to just step down. Didn't have to, but I did, because my health was and is my top priority. And at the time, I was a new manager, and it was just a little bit too overwhelming for me, and that's fine. Basically, the past year, since we've been on lockdown, I've been focused on taking these industry exams, working on getting my credibility back. I think I lost a lot of credibility with making the move that I did, and that's fine. But also, I lost a lot of can't really think of the word, not courage, but just confidence. I lost a lot of confidence in what I was doing, and so I've been trying to build that up, and bringing myself to be part of the team, and getting credibility back, like I said. So that's basically all the things that I've been doing. But my music background has been a big part of my life. I tried to play again in December 2019. What ended up happening was I picked up the trumpet, slowly tried to get back into it, but after one rehearsal, it wrecked my entire body. My whole body was in pain. It felt like I was being stabbed with a bunch of knives, and I had to call in for work the next day because I couldn't even get out of bed. Had to order food. Eventually, once I was able to get up, and I stayed in bed most of the day. Went back to work the next day. I was still in a lot of pain. I was like, you know what? This feels like what my friend described as fibromyalgia. And every sign pointed to that. And I remember he would perform, but there would be times that he couldn't because he was in so much pain. And I said, you know what? I don't want to experience that pain again. So I'm going to play trumpet. I probably won't play it again. I'm going to try to play piano at some point, but if I experience that type of pain again, then I'm just going to have to be a listener of music, which I'm slowly getting back into, because there was a time that I didn't even listen to music. It felt like a job for me, and I, just decided to focus on my career. This is a lot longer than I anticipated, and I apologize again for not doing a video. I didn't put up my backdrop or anything. I'm wearing my arthritis gloves. If you made it this far, I would ask that you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and hopefully I'll be able to see you in the next video. I'm probably going to have to get a new computer because my computer is pretty much crashing. Thank you, and I will see you soon. Take care.